Welcome to Cohesive Friendship Unit. My name is Chris. I'm here with Brian,
What's going on?
Jeremy,
What's up?
and Jake.
Hey guys.
Guys, XO19, pretty big show for Microsoft. We want to cover all the hot items and what we think about them. I guess we were a little too conservative on some of our estimates in our pre-show, even though I thought we were being pretty generous about what we were giving Microsoft. But no, they came out swinging. They decent number of new games, decent number of deals. Not the $100 Xbox One that Brian thought, and a decent smattering of games coming to xCloud and Games Pass. But before we get into all that, guys, consider subscribing. Super much appreciate your support. Probably going to see a giveaway coming soon. We're currently wrapping up one of our giveaways right now, but there will be one coming soon. If you like this content, I just did an xCloud beta review that you guys can totally check out, and we have a Games Pass review that all four of us did. So if you love us, sub us, and like the video. Alright guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit the highlights of the non-game stuff, and then we're going to transition into the games. I think the first thing that we should probably talk about are the games that came to xCloud and Game Pass. I think we can do those at the same time, right? So basically xCloud now is 50 games, and again, this is not a service that is out yet. It's a closed beta. And Stadia launched with 12 games, so we'll talk about that. And then a ton of games came to Game Pass, both on PC and Xbox One, that we can also kind of cherry pick what we were fans of. But what do we think about all this?
I mean, it's great that xCloud has... I mean, it's wild that they have 50 games and they're a, beta. They call it a preview, but it's a beta. I mean, that's just... Stadia, you done fucked up, man.
Well,
Yeah.
they already have Farming Simulator. Right off
Stadia?
the bat. You gotta wait
Oh, that's
for that.
true. Stadia doesn't even
Stadia-
have Farming
Stadia
Simulator
doesn't
yet.
have Farming Simulator
Oh,
yet. So you
shit.
wouldn't-
Watch your
xCloud
back.
has
Watch your back,
Vermintide,
Stadia.
which is my favorite game, so they've got my business.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this earlier, just in general, like broad picture. Stadia doesn't have any, well, they have one exclusive technically, but it's a small game. Xbox xCloud beta, let alone the final game. You have Gears 5, you have Forza, you have Sea of Thieves, you have Halo 5. There's just so many exclusives, and even if they're not like generation defining games, there's a reason to pick this up, right? Like, compared to Stadia.
Yeah, and it probably works with it works with the Xbox stuff that you may already have instead of having to get a new controller to work with it.
Yeah. I'm liking how xCloud's shaping up, personally.
Yeah.
Well, they have the weight behind it. Google doesn't have that. They just don't.
Google does have the, like...
They get the money
The
to buy
cash.
it, but they're not as devoted to it. They're not all in on it.
The cache and the server infrastructure. I think, at least in my... And again, I talked about this in my review. There was, like, a reason for this. Stadia ran better, and by Stadia I mean Project Stream, like the beta Stadia, ran better than xCloud. But that's because xCloud doesn't really support Ethernet yet. Or at least when I did my review. So I think that was a big reason. So it's hard to say, but Stadia might have the potential to run better, is all.
Right, but if there's no games that you want to play on it,
what's the
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Game Pass got a ton of releases and coming soons that are huge. I mean, Rage 2 just got announced on there, which is a big recent title. Remnant from Ashes is another big RPG that just recently got released.
Halo Reach, coming to
Halo
PC day one.
Reach.
Coming to PC day
So
one.
pumped. So pumped for the firefight. But
Yeah.
yeah, a ton of great games coming out for that.
I mean, Final Fantasy 13, the fans have been asking for that one for a long time.
Yeah. And you can get 3 months for $1.
With
Right
Spotify,
now.
right?
With Spotify.
I don't know if it's with Spotify.
It is with Spotify.
It is with Spotify. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Worth the price of entry alone.
I mean, we did our Games Pass like PC review, and we were a little like negative on the setup, and I think that still holds. That's something to just like We were
Still
not
stupid.
We were not hot on that.
Oh, it still sucks. I
It's
just tried
terrible.
to install Sea of Thieves, and it took me like 10 minutes just to find it.
Yeah, it's scattered, but I think the Xbox version kind of has things together a little bit because
Well, it's better than games for Windows Live. Like it's not that hard to go from 0 to 1, but they still did.
I would contend games for Windows Live would at least be better because then it would be in one place.
Dude, okay, so
That's a
I
good
downloaded
point.
a patch. My one memory of like online shit with computer games from when I was a kid, I downloaded a patch for Midtown Madness, Microsoft game, and it blew like it wrecked the computer once. And as
Wait.
soon as we started it, it just blue screened and it was dead.
Were
It
you on
was all
Vista
gone.
or were you XP still?
Oh, XP, dude, all the way.
Well, dude, if it was Vista, it would have been worse.
This was like 2005. Vista wasn't even out yet.
Just
but
be
like,
happy you weren't on me, dude. Or ME, sorry.
my aunt had that.
My
It was really
grandfather
just-
had that.
It was Windows.
Boomers,
like,
man.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? All right. Well, I mean, yeah. Basically, Xbox they're going in on this game service thing, love it or hate it, which we can talk about if we need to. But there are some Black Friday sales. Basically, it looks like the lowest you're gonna get is about $150 Xbox One if you dig hard enough, with a $350, and these are like bundled things, right? And a $350 Xbox One X with games. So that's not bad.
It's pretty good.
This is the last holiday where these are going to be like the big console, because then the new one's going to be out. So
It's a pretty good deal.
yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of the big games they're pushing with these bundles. It's FIFA, NBA, Gears 5, Forza, Borderlands, and Call of Duty. I don't know.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
those are people love those games. Like people go crazy.
They
for
sell.
FIFA.
They do sell. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And I will remind people this is totally unsubstantiated, but xCloud is coming out in the near future. And the promise of xCloud is that you don't need any special hardware to run it. So presumably a $100 Xbox is just as good as a $500 Scarlet. Just saying.
Well, even then, like, presumably your phone is as good as a $100 Xbox. Like,
There's a lot of
assuming you're
assumptions there.
assuming you're in it for exclusives. And yeah, you can check out like what I had to say about it. But all right, I think we're ready to talk about the games, right?
Yeah.
I think
Sure.
there were four big ones. I mean, one we can hit real quick because it's not really an announcement, but Halo, the first part of the PC Master Chief Collection / Halo Reach for the Xbox, is coming out December 3rd. Finally.
Hell yeah.
So we're gonna
Very
be playing
soon.
some Halo. I'm super happy about that, and I think it's only $10, right?
No, I think it's 30.
Fuck.
Wait. Oh, okay.
I was just looking at I'll look it up. I was just looking at it on Steam.
Well, either way, I'm pretty hyped for Halo, and it does come with Game Pass. I guess we don't have anything else to say about Halo. So yeah, let's move.
Oh, still
you're
good.
right.
Always been good. Still gonna be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree. We've talked about it. We're ready for some Halo. Let's talk about that new Obsidian IP. The boys just released Outer Worlds.
Great
Jeremy's really loving it, I think.
Love it.
Jake's pretty hot on it.
Yeah, I also love it.
I'm lukewarm.
It's good.
But now we have Grounded, guys. Y'all, you remember Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
You remember A Bug's Life?
You remember Bugs
Do
Life?
you remember? Do you remember A Bug's Life, but wish that it had been set in the year 2019 and based on fucking Fallout 76?
This is
Then
pulling
you'll love Grounded from Obsidian.
pulling the 90s
Please.
kids' heartstrings.
Play as a small child who has to fight ladybugs and team up with their friends in an online, I don't know, building and fighting situation.
I
That's
mean,
gonna
yeah, the graphical style is interesting.
So Jeremy,
Like,
you're the Outer Worlds fan. How you feeling on that?
Yeah,
because that
it
seemed
looks
a little
stupid.
sarcastic.
it was not as sarcastic as I intended. It looks stupid.
Okay.
Outer Worlds is great. Outer Worlds has some of the best character development in any game I've played. This, I mean, and I'm not grading it, my impression isn't on those grounds, but like it really reminds me of like Fallout 76 plus a little bit of Fortnite. There's a lot of constructing forts. It looks like there's a lot of mining materials and cutting down trees so that you can get your wood and your rocks to build stairs so that you can shoot ladybugs. It looks like it's very kind of co-op PvE online oriented. None of these things are things that I really like, which is fine. If that's for you, that's cool. But yeah, it doesn't speak to me.
I'm a huge fan of co-op PvE games, so this looks pretty sweet to me. I mean, it's definitely
See, there we
seems
go.
to be geared towards the younger audience, or maybe not. I mean, it's very similar, like you said, kind of Fortnite style, which I guess is definitely a younger generation appeal, but the popularity of that game cannot really be denied. So yeah, I like it. I don't know a ton about it. Obviously, they just released the trailer, but it looks fun. I'm always down for a co-op PvE, so I'll probably check it out.
Do you want to know what this is to me? There's a word you're going to start hearing a little bit from me now. Now that we're into these games. I'm going to call it Game Pass bait. I'm going to call it xCloud bait. Here's what we're going to do, guys.
No, dude. No,
no,
it's,
ready?
it's not that impressive.
No,
It really isn't.
No, but that's why it's bait, dude. It's
That's
just
what I'm
cheap.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but it looks cheap. It looks like fucking RAF, dude. And that,
But it's an exclusive.
But, yeah, so here we go, Brian. We buy all these studios. We buy like 12 studios, right? I just crank them out, man. Get the games
Fortnite.
out. Get the games out. Keep
Yeah,
the
but that's how you-
subscription rolling. I'm
I
not
agree
saying
with
it's a good
Chris.
thing. I think it's a terrible
dude,
idea.
that's a bad idea.
but-
I'm not.
but-
But do you agree or do you disagree?
These games are like co-op long-term games, so
Get
if
your
you-
friends to sign up too.
Yeah, but if Obsidian pumps out a game in 2 years, then are they just going to kill off Grounded and
Yep.
go to the next one? There's no incentive for them to make new games.
You got 12 studios. You got one game per month per studio. Just do it.
Right, but there's no incentive for a studio to produce a new game if they're just going to subscribe to play an old game. They would be making games like Destiny 2 rather than this and the next game we're going to talk about, Everwilds, because they just lose money developing new games. So
Well, I think the strategy is maybe like, this is xCloud bait. What was the other one?
Game Pass.
Game Pass bait. And like then 1 year they'll make a Game Pass bait game, and then the next year they'll make like a good game, which will be like their real game, and then they'll make like these easier to develop games that, just as Chris said, kind of keep things in circulation, keep exclusives flowing into the Xbox ecosystem.
I think Microsoft, like, just looking at these few games that with the exception of Age of Empires, looking at specifically Grounded and Everwild, Microsoft is not interested in selling you a $60 product anymore. They're interested in selling you. They don't care how this sells, right? They care if you can get the nibble on the line that is a Game Pass subscription.
They care about saying we have 30 new exclusives that were released this year.
Yeah, that's just me. That's just I don't know. What do you feel?
That's fair.
How do you feel about
'Cause-
Grounded, Brian? I'm sorry.
It's like I said, it's not impressive. It's just like, I don't know. After a while, like, do you really want to keep paying $4.99 a month or whatever to keep playing that? Because like that's like a $15 game. Like, you pay $15 for it, you're out the door, you're relatively happy. I wouldn't want to keep paying for it, but I'm not the customer for streaming services anyway. I get the idea of just buy the, come out with just dump these games out, but then you run into the same problem that Stadia has. It doesn't matter how many exclusives you have if all your exclusives are shit. If nobody wants to play them, if the games are like boring. Not that I'm saying this, it's an interesting concept. I think that the execution doesn't really look that great, but like, if they're not great, why would you want to buy this? So you can play anything else with your friends. There's a huge market out there. Why would you want to play this?
Yeah.
to me, it just doesn't. It doesn't like you have to have that to set yourself apart from the field. And if you know, especially if you're trying to use something to sell another product, and this just doesn't jump out to me.
Yeah, I think Chris, the evidence is supporting your hypothesis here. I mean, Obsidian just came out with Outer Worlds, which was a huge game. Definitely took their entire studio to produce it, and now about a year later, they're going to come out with Grounded in spring 2020. So obviously, this game is not huge, but it's definitely the kind of game that it maybe if all my friends had Game Pass, maybe I could convince everyone to check it out for a month or something like that. And that's probably all they want is like,
Yeah,
hey,
100%.
this is one more game that you can just check out for a month, maybe move to something else after that, just to get you in the ecosystem.
I guess it doesn't look bad. It looks disposable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
word.
it's not.
That's
It's
the
not
word.
remarkable. Yeah.
That's the
But
word.
that's fine. It might be as exactly like Jake said. For a month, for 2 months, could that be fun to play a couple times? Absolutely. Is it something that's going to change the world or be, a game that you continue to play year after year? It doesn't necessarily look like it, albeit from this very short video. But I think Chris was totally spot on. I think that's the strategy.
Well, let's talk about the next game from Rare. The people who are calling Sea of Thieves a 10-year game. We have their next game called Everwild, featuring a magical natural world. That's a quote. There's not a lot to see in this. I mean, there's like an art style that we can talk about, but it's pretty open to interpretation.
It's a Pokemon ripoff. Like, they're giraffes with solar panels on their heads instead of fucking Pokemon. Like, that's what it is.
I see Horizon Zero Dawn cross Breath of the Wild personally, but I like the Pokemon.
Isn't
don't
Pokemon a magical natural world? Like, all of those games are about like being in harmony with like your surroundings and shit like that. Like, it's just Pokemon in a different skin.
I don't know if that's what Pokemon's about at all. Just
Well,
saying, you capture a bunch of Pokemon and make them fight till they faint, and then you do it again.
Well, okay, but
Yeah,
like,
but you're
you gotta-
friends
you
with
gotta
them. You're
consider,
friends with
like,
them.
What's the overarching, like the
like
the
friendship.
shell that you're
Yeah.
hiding all of that behind, right? It's
Right.
it's like friendship and unity and like, yeah, but you have to hide the slavery with
It's
something.
like, yeah, I make my
Right.
pit bulls fight other pit bulls, but we're friends. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, and I'm in tune with them, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I
that's
give him
what
a
this
big
shit
belly
is.
scratch.
Yeah.
He feels better.
Fair enough.
He likes it, actually.
We have no idea what this game is about, though. I mean, there is no combat at all. I don't
It's
know
about
what the people do.
It's about touching
go pet
animals.
animals.
It's about
That's all they do
giraffes,
is
Jake.
they pet the animals, man.
It's about a glowing reindeer who comes out of the woods, and you gotta rub him because he's so beautiful.
Remember in 2016 when we saw the first Death Stranding trailer and Kojima was like, no, guys, you just walk around. Like, that's all you do. Everyone's like, oh, you just walk around. And he's like, yep. And everyone's like, no, but what do you really do? He's like, no, you just walk around. And then the game comes out and everyone's like, why are you just walking around the whole time? Yeah, you just pet giraffes. That's all you do.
Well, sometimes you look at, I'm watching it, sometimes you watch seagulls.
Chris, are you
There's
saying
beautiful music.
this might be Game Pass bait?
I'm saying it might be Game Pass bait. I don't
But
know.
again,
man.
like, it just doesn't, like, if I don't know.
Still
I'm
gonna
not
be
a
the-
fan of cell shaded anyway. Like, I think that's a very divisive. You either like that or you don't.
Yeah.
And like, it's the same. It's like, okay, like, if you're into I'm not the type of person that'd be into this, but like, if you're into it, I can see you maybe buying into it, but like, it just doesn't jump out at you.
Here's the thing, right? With the Game Pass bait stuff. This is the last time I'll bring it up. Because the next game isn't Game Pass bait. Why the next generation launches in holiday 2020. These don't look, one of them is confirmed to not be a launch game. And the other one doesn't really look like a launch game, to me at least. Why would you show these games and have these games coming out on the Xbox One's deathbed? Because it's Game Pass bait, because it's xCloud bait. We're gearing up these subscription services. We're getting the games on there. We're getting them out fast. We're gonna launch it. It's not a bad thing,
Yeah,
but it
you
is a
gotta
thing.
have like if Netflix was just a bunch of shows that nobody wanted to watch,
Well,
and they were
There are a
only
lot of
that's
shows.
kind of what it is.
They kind of throw
Yeah,
shit
but
at the
there's
wall
some
and see what
shows on-
sticks.
They make like 30 shows that are fucking garbage, and then like one good one.
And that's we got
4 or
Halo
5
Infinite
months.
coming out, and then we got Grounded.
Yeah, and to be fair to Everwilds, they don't even have a release date. They're far from even close to announcing what this game really is. So, just to be fair to them, it was a pretty nondescript trailer to start with.
Are we good on the Everwild? Because like Jake said, we're going in kind of blind. You pet giraffes. I think we're good.
Still going to be the best game Valve's made in like a decade.
Valve.
I'm sorry,
Rare.
Rare.
You got our videos mixed up, man. You're in the wrong video, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Come back. All right.
Go back.
So this was personally to me a huge surprise. Like a very pleasant surprise too, for a number of reasons. Age of Empires 4 is coming out, and it is coming out on PC, and it looks like a proper Age of Empires game. And I'm personally like I'm loving this one because I thought that real-time strategy games, RTSs, were absolutely dead, and they're not, apparently. And two, I thought Age of Empires was basically totally dead. They've been living off of remakes, and apparently that's also not the case. So I'm super hyped for this.
I also totally thought Age of Empires was dead and gone, but apparently not. I owned Age of Empires 3 back in like middle school.
I was gonna say
I
we were
think-
playing Age of Empires 3 on your like Windows XP computer.
Yeah.
That's how
Don't
old.
talk shit about
No, I'm
those.
not. What I'm saying is this is Age of
was
Empires
that
4,
long
Brian.
ago.
Like it's been since XP. It's been a minute,
Yeah.
as the kids would say.
Yeah, I was saying to you guys before, I'm not a huge RTS fan, but I did love Age of Empires 3, so I don't know. I mean, there may be a chance that this game converts me and I become like an RTS fiend and I just start playing this and Empire Earth and all that stuff, but I'm pumped to see it come back.
I think that this is xCloud bait, because this is the kind of game that you get addicted to.
All right, I see what you're. I see where
You
you're
know,
going.
like it's the
I see
type
where
of
you're
game
going.
where you're like, okay, I want to like you can put 1,000 hours into this game, like no problem.
It's got the staying power.
Brian, I know you don't play a lot of RTSs, but you play a lot of RTSs in the sense of like a roller coaster tycoon. That's like a different skew
Yeah,
of
it's
an
just
RTS.
it's a different it's a
like a
different
non-
skin on it. It's
same
it's a
idea.
bit slower. With,
Yeah.
Like yeah,
Time's moving. You got things to do. You got economies to manage. You got to build an empire, a roller coaster
Yeah.
tycoon empire. And you love.
Yeah.
I know it.
yeah, you know, I do, but yeah, like I can see me getting into this. I see this. I've never played Age of Empires before, and I don't think I've ever actually played a game that people would consider an RTS. But like I can see this being some like, and again, it's like the other one. It's not visually impressive. Like it kind of looks like trash, but it looks like something that if you're into it, like you're gonna be playing this for hours and hours and hours, and that's what sells the subscription.
Well, I'd say it looks like an RTS. RTS is always
Yeah.
going to look like that. But
Yeah, because it's not about the graphics; it's about the gameplay.
Jeremy, what do you think? Because Jeremy and I are probably based on what we've just talked about, the biggest RTS fans. I mean, Jeremy and I have played
Many hours.
how many hours of StarCraft 2 would you guess? It's impossible.
600, 700?
Yeah, we've played a lot of duos in StarCraft 2 together, and I have played RTSs all the way back with the original Empire Earth, which came out in 1997. That was the first online game I played. But Jeremy, how are you feeling about this?
As Jake is to PvE co-ops, I am to RTSs. I would try this.
Hell yeah.
Just because it's, it's an RTS. It's a big franchise. It's probably going to be good. I'd be willing to give it a shot. I understand what Brian's saying about it not looking super graphically impressive, the units are like very small in the game, so they're zoomed in on the units a lot, so they don't look quite like that during gameplay. Plus, I don't know, it's got a historical setting that's kind of cool. I'm with it.
And like I was saying earlier, I'm personally just happy that there is a new RTS coming out in 2020.
I agree.
Because StarCraft was previously kind of the king, and Blizzard has all but killed it. They seem to have zero interest in doing anything with StarCraft again.
Their attention is elsewhere.
Yeah, their attention is elsewhere. Jake and I were talking. We thought Age of Empires was just straight up gone. They were living off of remakes. Empire Earth, which was my original love, died a long time back. And I mean, MOBAs really took over the RTS genre.
Landscape, yeah.
Yeah, so it's nice to see them back.
Yeah, and this trailer has a lot to it, a lot more than any of the other trailers we saw at XO19. And we don't have the time in this video to jump into it, but there's a lot of good-looking stuff in this game. I mean, it's very different from the Age of Empires 3 that I remember.
This ain't your grandpa's Age of Empires, Jake. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
okay,
like
boomer.
I guess that's just to say it looks like they're doing a lot in here, and it looks like they may be taking a sort of fresh take on your Age of Empires, Empire Earth, RTS.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I think we covered XO19, guys.
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
That
right.
was everything that happened.
That really, yeah. And it was to give Xbox credit. It was more than we thought. We thought there were going to be no games announced really, because Scarlet's coming. But here we go. All right, Brian. What should our Xbox fans be doing right about now?
Well, if you're an Xbox fan and you disagree with the previous statements made by Chris and Jeremy that we discussed everything, what were your thoughts on that? What was your favorite reveal or bit of news or whatever that came out of this that we missed in this video down in the word box there? And hopefully we can have a civil discussion about it, although this is the internet. And like Chris said in the past, and possibly at the beginning of this video, I can't remember, but we do give away shit on a fairly regular basis here on the Cohesive Friendship Unit channel, so go ahead and click that subscribe button if you watched this far, because you probably liked it if you sat through whatever that was, like half an hour of us babbling. And there's a ton more babbling like that on the Cohesive Friendship Unit channel here, so smoke them if you get them, guys. That's all for me tonight, Chris.
All right. Thank you, Brian. Catch you guys next time.